How's it going? Been saving a fair few seeds lately of plants we've grown, heirloom varieties, and I thought I'd do a clip on tomato seed saving. I'm not going to put you through a whole clip on it. I know there's 1,000,001 tomato seed saving clips out there, but I thought I'd just show you 3 different methods we've used and then go on to a bit of a germination test. There's one thing I think is really important if you're sharing seeds with other people. I'm a member of a seed sharing group and I also give them away to other people we meet along the way. You really should make sure that the seeds are going to germinate and they have a fairly successful germination rate. We've had some crops where I've saved seeds and probably only about 30-40% of the seeds have germinated. I don't even bother giving them away. I still keep the seeds and try and grow them, hoping that I'll get better results over the years. But yeah, with tomatoes you pretty much will never have a problem whatsoever. I've done a bit of a test with 2 varieties we've been growing and really like. One's the KY1 and it's an Australian all-rounder, a bit of a paste tomato. It's been developed here in Australia. We really liked what we had of that this year, either on sandwiches and also made up some powder, some tomato powder. The other one is the broad ripple yellow currant tomato. It's just a small one. What's them doing, a YouTuber here in Australia gave us seeds for those a few years ago and they've just powered on. Don't really need to save seeds for those ones, they've just become a bit of a weed in the garden, but still I thought I'd save some so I can share them with other people. So one of the ways I saved the seed was fermentation. It's pretty easy, a lot of people do it. All you do is just squeeze some seeds out of the tomato, just put them into a jar or a little bowl, little container and leave them for a couple of days. What that does is the fermentation process reduces the little gel sac around the seed itself, and so you're just left with a nice clean little seed. After a couple of days the mix will get a bit funky smelling. You just rinse it off under a tap and it just washes all the bits and pieces away, and then I just put it onto a plate with a bit of paper on it, baking paper, and just let the seeds dry out. The other method is just basically squeeze onto a bit of paper and let them dry off, and over a couple of days they dry out. You end up with a little bit of a like a little bit of a flake around it, which is basically the dry gel sac, and that's pretty much all as easy as that. There's not a lot in either of those methods really. A lot of people have done clips on them, so yeah, I'm not getting right into it. So from there, once I had the seed ready, all it was a matter of doing was planting them out. Just thought I'd do a bit of a germination test with these 2 different ways of saving the seeds, as well as just popping some seeds in raw straight from the tomato. So rightio, what I've got here is a tomato I've just gone and picked straight from the bush. I've got some of the seeds that were fermented and they've just been left out to dry, and I have some of the same seeds that have just been put on the plate here to dry. So I've marked these different punnets. I've marked this one raw, so who's going to get the tomato? Just pop them here so you know which is which. This one here is fur for fermented, and this one here is plate for plate dried. Very scientific marking there. All I'm pretty much all going to do is just drop 2 seeds in each one of these cells. So I might as well do the easy ones first. I'm actually using compost to grow in. This is a purchased compost. If I use any of our worm casts or soil from the garden, there is a possibility that we're going to get seeds from tomato plants that have gone feral in the patch. So I thought I'd do the right thing and buy some nice soil that shouldn't have any tomato seeds. Now for this one here, I might just grab a knife to help push them in. This one here is just going to be 2 seeds with their little gel capsules around them. There we go, so that's the tomato. So we'll see if these coatings actually do make a difference between the germination time of the plant and the last ones. So these still have the gel capsule around them, it's just dried off. So there we go. We have our plate, we have our fermented, and we have our raw tomatoes. So should probably cover these guys up, I think. Might help. So I'm just going to set these guys aside and they'll be put in with the other seedlings in the other tray, just left out with some water in the base of it, and we'll come back in a couple of days time and we'll see how they're going and which is germinated. Well, it's been 30 days now since we planted the seeds into the punnets. I came back after 10 days and had a bit of a look at them, and the seeds that went in after they'd been fermented had about an 87% strike rate, which was pretty much, well, all seeds bar one had germinated. With the seeds on the plate, we had a 75%, and the same with the ones that went in raw straight from the tomato. So that basically means 2 seeds didn't pop or germinate from the ones that I planted out. But I'm very happy to say we have 100% germination rate. First of all, I'll show you the raw ones. These guys are looking okay. We've got 1 or 2 in there that just have, hang on, we have 1 in there, sorry, that just has these seed leaves in, and another one here that's just starting to form his secondary set. So they're looking alright, fair to average. The next ones are the ones that were on the plate. Now these guys here, we have a couple of late bloomers, just here and here. These guys here have only just germinated and they only just have their seed leaves on. So the other ones are looking quite healthy. These guys here that were fermented, I will point out we have one down the back here that's only just germinated. Here's the late comer. He was the one that didn't pop at the day 10 mark, and he's only got his seed leaf still. They're all pretty much well on their second set of leaves there, so I'm really happy about that. You can't really complain. That's 100% germination rate. Just to show you, compared with these other two, I think the ones that were fermented are actually looking a lot healthier, a lot better growth on the leaves. So I'm thinking that maybe fermenting that gel sac off actually does give them a bit of a kickstart. But as you can see from the 100% germination rate, you're still going to grow tomatoes. I really don't think it's going to hold them back that much. It's also too winter here. Well, today's the first day of winter here in Australia, so we have had temperatures around here in Ipswich. We've had them round about the 20-degree mark, a little bit above that. Nighttime temperatures falling down to around about the 9-degree mark. Some nights a little bit lower. I do think it is a great idea to test the seed so you know how many you're going to get germinate from the next lot of seed that you sow out. Some people may only want 10 plants, so you know if it's got about an 80% success rate, so 14 to 15 seeds out, you're going to get your 10 plants and a couple left over that you can share with friends or family, or, I don't know, squeeze them in the patch somewhere else. But when it comes to sharing with other people, I do think the fermentation method is better because you end up with a cleaner seed. It just looks nicer and they're easier to handle once they come from the packet. I'm going to be planting out the ones that came from the fermented little test sowing. They'll be going into my patch hopefully in the next day or so. We are in winter, but yeah, that doesn't really matter. We're lucky in the subtropics, we can grow tomatoes pretty much all year round. And these other guys here I might try and give away to a couple of local people. So the only downfall I can see to the fermentation method is leaving jars unclearly marked on benches in the kitchen and people don't know what they are and smell it and toss it down the sink. It's happened once before, never again. So I suppose that's pretty much all it. That's just a quick look at germination test for tomatoes, and yeah, a couple of different ways we like to save the seeds. Any comments, questions, suggestions, just drop them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Other than that, I hope you have a great one and take it easy. Catch ya.